Now, of course, what I consider to be the most important breaking news is the violence that's going on in Jerusalem. There's a lot of tension that's been building up, and it's boiling over in these incidents, extremists, terrorism, whatever you want to call it. So the latest thing is a rabbi who's has some opinionated views about what should happen in Jerusalem. I don't know, but what they're saying, his view about the Temple Mount is that Jews should be able to go in there, and they want to rebuild the temple, which would be either the third or the fourth temple, depending on how you count them, of the Jews, but not necessarily just of the Jews, of Israel. And that is also a bone of contention. But we're not going to do history debate right now. We're going to do political debate, which is almost completely different. So the reason why I say this is so important, so significant, is that it compounds the problem that Israel has created for itself since this summer, circa first week of July. Excuse me while I eat my pudding. Unfortunately, we have a lot of death to contend with. This is not going to easily be forgotten or go away. It happened in Gaza. There's a huge war that went on. They call it mowing the lawn. So it's tit for tat, but Israel responded with excessive force and calls it defense. Okay, all right. This is a psychological, sociological issue that's going on. You could diagnose it if you want to. But what is the way to go through this peace process? Really, actually, we're not going to do that because that's an American NATO-sponsored shenanigans. We know how far that's going to go. We know that that's the thing that really just undermines anything that would really go on. Anything that would really be a solution. They're just trying to undermine. Okay, so put that in your pipe and smoke it for a little while. And read some headlines. Now, compounding the problem of the whole Gaza war, Operation Protective Edge, which is approved pretty much by the other powers in America, with the exception of Russia, I think. And obviously a lot of the Arab neighbors, well, maybe half the Arab neighbors, half of them. The other half are on their side. Saudi and Egypt are now tightly in bed with Israel. Now, the compounded problem is that immediately after conceding to a little bit of more borderland for Gazans, supposedly for farming, they went ahead, the authorities in Jerusalem, and took over a whole bunch of land of East Jerusalem. So Arabs, Palestinians, other ethnicities, non-Jews, maybe some Christians, around that section, that region of central Israel, central state of Israel, are not happy. Much of the tension is coming from this. So because I reported this less than 2 months ago, look up the video, and I said that they took over 1,000 acres for additional new settlements. This has been a dividing point and causing a rift between the United States and Israel, because Israel and the authorities in Jerusalem decided to do this, and pushing all the buttons. making the Palestinians mad in Gaza and the West Bank, to the extent that President Mahmoud Abbas of the PA, Palestinian Authority, said that closing down the Temple Mount is an act of war. Their people, the Palestinians, are mad because the land's being stolen. And, I might add, go over here. Walk up this alley in the old city. This is the man we're going to talk about. This is the other man we're going to talk about. But I want you to know that this violence is not going to go away. It's been heating up more and more to the levels now are reminding us of 1967. It's not a good thing. But let's talk about this. Why are people angry in the West Bank? Why are Palestinians angry? Why are the certain kind of Arabs angry? If you want to call them Arabs or Muslims. Because 16-year-old Muhammad Abu Khadr was killed. Now, this happened in July, which is also the beginning of the Gaza war. So we're talking just around July 4th, 5th. I don't know the exact date, but see what it says there. They don't forget this. See, because justice is demanded. It continues to get deeper. Is anyone solving the problem? Well, there's a lot of doubt about that. Maybe some people, to their advantage, want to stir this up more. What, did Netanyahu need more ways to look worse? As I said, the rift between the biggest supporter of Israel, United States, divided against Israel now, this is widening. It's a widening gap. The foreign minister, who's always been wrangling and shooting his mouth at Kerry, Secretary of State, and then he shoots his mouth off. He calls him a Messiah complex. Kerry says this, the other one says that, the White House says this. It looks like Obama, the administration, they're not going to put up with this unless it's done in a certain way. The Israelis, on the other hand, don't feel like they're being listened to in Washington, and that's the whole point they're making. Ya'alon, and there was the other guy, the foreign minister, the defense guy. Now they're talking, excuse me, I forget a few of the names. They're talking about, hey, we get the cold shoulder in Washington. They're pushing us away. They won't meet with us. Why? Because of the far-right faction, maybe? Now, I don't know if this guy is the far-right. His name is Rabbi Yehuda Glick. Not Jiminy Glick. And he's been wounded, so God forbid, Baruch Hashem. But this is the thing. All of us are human. What about Muhammad that got killed here? God forbid that more of this happens. God forbid the thousands, 3,000 and more that just got killed in Gaza. Who did it? They say this person this is the suspect. Excuse me, I need to eat some more. Mutaz Hijazi is what they say his name is. And police shot him, apparently, because he's the one that shot the rabbi. Taking credit for this is, they say who took the credit. Islamic Jihad is the group. Now, so that name brings up whether we think there's going to be intifada, like a formal group, strong declaration of war to bring down the state of Israel. Is there going to be intifada? Well, maybe not. It's not something that you can really tell. It's like, if you want it to happen, then maybe. Maybe you can make propaganda about it. But if you don't want it to happen, then you have to talk about it in terms of, let's prevent intifada. And the way you do that is you start getting together with the Palestinians and you encourage the process of healing, but also proper defensiveness of themselves and to be able to respect themselves. Now, the way you do it with the Jewish Israelis is that they have to be taught to put the right system of law and order and not pushing themselves around like angry and aggressive, because they've done that a lot. See, the whole Gaza war is a symptom of that. Is that behavior that's not going to do them any favors in their international relations. They're looking really bad. And it continues to go downhill. In fact, I would say it's spiraling, and we want to stop that. So Jews have to put forth a better face of, we are organized, we are unified in doing this a better way. Nobody's doing that yet. Nobody has done that yet. But I'm suggesting that's what has to happen. But I'm talking, I'm gabbing, I know I'm going on, I don't really have a prepared speech, and I'm just throwing a lot of things out there, so I hope you excuse me. I hope this just gets you to think. If you want to be controversial with me or whatever, who knows, they'll probably repress this video because they don't want me, like, making people think too much. They don't really want that. They just want to make it cut and dry. This guy is this far right. This guy is this. This guy is a hippie. This guy is a Islamic extremist. This guy is a... they want it that way. But with me and this channel and the way I talk about things, you can't do that. I take a central overall position on things where I'm considering everybody. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.